When even the best are having a tough time with the material WWE's creative team dish out, what chance do those struggling on the undercard have? It's not your fault. I still believe in Bo. They're not necessarily the worst in WWE currently because of their own failings, although most do have to take at least some of the blame for their plight. Sin Cara. No, they're more often victims of a creative team instructed to focus on the top-tier workers rather than spreading their wealth of ideas equally. I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are the 10 best moments from WWE's worst performers. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done. Number 10. Curtis Axel's B-Team Resurgence. This B-Team lark Axel is working with fellow straggler Bo Dallas is a million times better than being called f***ing McGillicuddy, the new Nexus, or failing under the tutelage of Paul Heyman. How is that even possible? Axel is enjoying himself now, and that is great to see. He'll never be that main event wonder WWE tried to create in 2013, but he has his place for perhaps the first time ever. And his crap t-shirts sell for 22 bloody pounds a pop. Number 9. Bayley's Iron Woman Glory. Okay, so under normal circumstances, Bayley would never be on any list detailing the worst in WWE. Obviously. 2018 hasn't exactly been normal for the huggable babyface, though. At NXT TakeOver Respect, it was her and Sasha who worked the first ever 30-minute Iron Woman match. Bayley picked up the popular win and cemented her status as the premier face of the division. Oh, how things change. 3 years on, Bayley is desperately striving to reach this level again and shed the stench of a rotten time on the main roster. Number 8. Heath Slater's Got Kids. Nowadays, Heath Slater and Rhino are Raw's go-to jobber tag team. Whenever anybody else needs a quick win, they're the ones to call upon with their dodgy tans, cheese, and crackers. But it wasn't always that way. Slater, buoyed by a new trailer trash gimmick that centered around him trying to feed all 18 million of his children, entered some career best performances as a hapless babyface. The pair were even given the distinction of being the first ever SmackDown Tag Team Champions. That kind of success seems impossible now. Number 7. Mike Kanellis' Honest Interview. A strikingly honest video on WWE's YouTube channel last October saw Mike and his wife Maria sitting down with Renee Young for a candid chat about their lives. In the process, Mike opened up like never before, and stories of his battles were inspiring to hear. There's a positive tale WWE can tell with Mike, and it's one they need to if he's ever going to forge a connection with the audience. This, controversial or not, was Kanellis' best moment as a WWE employee to date. Number 6. Primo Cologne's team with Carlito. Yes, apparently he's still with WWE. Who knew? Anyway, before he was selling timeshares or pretending to be a bullfighter who weirdly hangs around with a man dressed as a bull, Primo Cologne actually had a chance to get over as a tag team star. When Primo and Carlito captured the unified WWE Tag Team Championship on WrestleMania 25's pre-show, they seemed all set, and the team's dynamic almost had an air of Los Guerreros about them. Sadly, things fell apart for Primo when Carlito left WWE in 2010. Though he's always been a dependable in-ring worker, Primo has never been taken seriously by the creative team. Number 5. MOJO Rawley's WrestleMania moment. It wasn't some weird fever dream involving Rob Gronkowski. This actually happened. Mojo's Mania moment. It was a sweet moment for Rawley, albeit one tempered by WWE's refusal to do anything meaningful with him as a follow-up, aside from name-drop his NFL pal. Oh, football friend! Since that win, Mojo has faded into the background and barely wrestles on television in 2018. WWE have lost faith and/or interest. A bit like the rest of us. Number 4. Sin Cara's time in the Lucha Dragons. So good were the Lucha Dragons that fans popped huge for their NXT tag title win in 2014. Then they followed that up by being key parts of the first ever tag team elimination chamber match in 2015. Things looked good for the Dragons. So, of course, they were de-emphasized and later split in the summer of 2016 when Sin Cara was drafted to Raw and Kalisto posted to SmackDown. Because we can't have nice things, you see. Those 2 years Sin Cara enjoyed in the Lucha Dragons were the best of his career, and they even threatened to help fans forget about the original Cara's failed run, where he botched everything and had a bit of a hurty finger. Number 3. Dana Brooke's slap. Sick of poor treatment from her mentor Charlotte Flair, Brooke snapped on a September 2016 edition of Raw and aimed a slap at her supposed superior. Fans responded well to Dana's fire, and that only made her retreat back to Flair's side more disappointing. WWE were apparently not ready to have her strike out on her own, and they shouldn't have been so hasty at pulling the trigger. Still, it was a memorable moment for Brooke, perhaps her only on the main roster thus far, aside from joining Titus Worldwide! Of course. Number 2. R-Truth's 2011 heel turn. It's easy to shit all over R-Truth, and we here at What Culture have been to that well a fair amount. But back in 2011, Truth's brilliant heel turn on John Morrison and subsequent characterization as a loopy, out-of-touch heel was played to perfection by someone who was clearly hungry to prove himself as a main eventer. Truth's flirtation with the top-line mix will stick in the memory as an example of what can be achieved quickly if talents are motivated by the creative team's faith. Now back to whatever the fuck this is. Number 1. The Ascension's NXT dominance. Connor and Victor had one hell of a run as NXT Tag Team Champions. For 364 days, the Ascension ruled the brand and looked destined to become main roster success stories who are taken seriously by fans and industry critics alike. Yeah, so much for that. But they can still reflect on a golden period. Contrast that almost year-long stint as champions with what Connor and Victor are doing today on Raw. Oh well, I suppose you'll always have that weird guy who's on the front row of every WWE pay-per-view as your biggest fan. Hey lads.
Hello there, you've made it all the way to the end of the video, and as part of my designated 18 hours of community service, I'm here to tell you that we have a number of other channels available for you to subscribe to, as well as other slightly, possibly not related videos for you to watch. So please do one of the things to my left or right, otherwise I have to pick up leaves on the roadside.